Good, yeah. This is the Rugged Angel Cast, and I'm your host, Camila. Thank you for joining me. If you don't know, the Rugged Angel Cast is also available on WMCK.FM, and if you are listening on the internet radio station, I thank you for that because I want to know that all the hard work that I put into this show, it's being listened and appreciated by someone. And when you catch it on the on WMCK.FM, you get music. So I pour over for days over which songs I'm going to play. I only play songs by female artists or bands that have strong that female musicians in them or things like that. And otherwise, sometimes I do let the boys play, and it'll be like a special thing. Like a few weeks ago, it was Duran Duran Day, so I had to play Duran Duran music. That's just kind of the code. That's how that goes. But today is going to be, the typical ladies who rock, strong women, strong female musicians and artists and singers and vocalists and songwriters. So I look forward to giving that to you. If you're just listening to the regular old podcast well, I shouldn't just call it just a regular old podcast. I mean, if you're listening to the Rugged Angel Cast Light, yes, we'll call it that, without the music, you're probably listening on Libsyn or iTunes. Keep it up. It's still a great conversation that's going to happen. It's just no music because I don't have the licensing personally. I can't do that. I'm not allowed. But the new shows on WMCK.FM air on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Then they repeat on Thursday at 5 p.m. and then Monday at 1 p.m. You can listen on your computer or on your phone because there is an app that works with both Android and Apple. And like I said, if you don't care about the music, you can just go ahead and listen on from iTunes and Libsyn. And make sure to like Rugged Angel Productions on Facebook, as well as follow me on Twitter at @the_Rugged Angel, and you'll always be up to date as to when the new episodes come out. But you will also know if you like and rate and review and stuff on iTunes, you subscribe to Rugged Angel Productions. Rugged Angel is one word. Then you'll automatically know because it'll just pop up into your iTunes podcast feed every week. Every week there's a new show. Unless something goes terribly wrong in my life as to where I just can't get things to work right, then it'll be a repeat or it won't be a show. So this week's Rugged Angel is Tina Alexis Allen from WGN show Outsiders. She plays I Ain't Taking No More of Your Crap Foster Shern. You guys know who Shern is, right? I feel like you're listening because I'm talking to Shern. So you know what's up. Tina is so interesting. If you ever get the chance to sit down and talk with her, I highly recommend it. We chat about her book that's coming out in 2017, Bullet Jewelry, and of course, how she becomes Shern every episode. All right, I think that's enough of my chatter. You want to get into this show. You're always responsible for how you act, no matter how you feel. Remember that. Let's do this. All right, Tina Alexis Allen. I love that name.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here on the Rugged Angel podcast.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
I am excited to talk to you about you and figure out who you are and what's going on with you.
Thank you.
How's your day going so far?
So far, so good. I'm looking over Pittsburgh. We're watching the Pirates get ready to play their game. So
you're
it's
probably
kind of fun.
Yeah, and they've been doing like, oh my god, the fireworks. It's like
I heard it last night. Actually, I was out. Actually, I was sitting by the river, which I love Pittsburgh for that reason. All the rivers. I was sitting by the river having a chat with a friend back in New York, and it was lovely. And the boats were out, and the lights were on, and the Pirates were playing, and then all of a sudden, some crazy concert started. And it was like bliss, and then I was like, this is life, isn't it? It's like you got everything going, and then the concert starts.
Right, and it's like chaotic.
And it was like, oh, really? All right. So I moved, and then the fireworks started, and then I went back to the hotel.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a challenge here because I mean, personally, I don't care about any of the sports.
Oh, that's not good for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things. It's like, and so the only time I check the schedule is if I need to be downtown. It's like, all right, is traffic going to be bothersome for me?
Well, ironically, I was a big Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Really?
When I was a kid. Yeah, because I have 5 brothers, so they were totally, sports junkies, and then I became one. And they liked the Pirates, and then I got turned on to them, and they were really good. And yeah.
Have you been to a game yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Because I usually come in and then I go out, and it's usually work time.
Right.
But I'm committed to get there this season, season 2.
Yeah. I assume there'll be a lot of games
Yes.
to choose from.
Yes, there usually are, and I don't think they're doing that well right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the latest. Last year they were doing really well, and then this season I think they're so. So I usually keep on it with the drivers that take us to set. All those guys know. They know everything. When the games are, what their record is, everything.
Nice. Where are you from originally?
I'm from outside of D.C., Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Nice.
Yeah, right on the border, like literally, like we take 10 steps and then we're in D.C. and then we come back and we're in Maryland. So it's right there, like 20 minutes to the White House.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So were there a lot of school trips to the White House?
Well, we did. I did have one. And then my dad, used to take us downtown a lot. So we would see the monuments, and he had a lot of, he was a travel agent. So he had a lot of people from overseas that were always in town. So there was a lot of people to entertain and show around. So a lot of times we'd go down, and I love that about DC. I think it's my most favorite thing, is just the beauty of the architecture. It's quite stunning.
I've only been there a couple of times, but it is a great place
to be.
The
Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial and
all the museums, the Smithsonian.
And the White House. And I mean, it's really stunning, especially at night.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking.
I'm excited to go back and finally go see the African American Museum, History Museum. And oh my God, I can't wait.
Right? Yeah.
So you said 5 brothers?
5 brothers and 7 sisters.
No. Are you serious?
Yes. Catholic, not Mormon.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, totally.
So what was that household like? Where do you fall in?
I'm the youngest.
Really?
Yeah. It was crowded. We had a really big house. It was still crowded.
Oh, my God.
Because it can't be not crowded with 13 kids.
No,
there's
absolutely
no way.
not.
And noisy and just, I'm the youngest. So fortunately, like, a lot of them got married early. I'm sure they just wanted the hell out.
Pushed out.
Yeah, that's like, at 18, I'd be out of there too if I had to take care of all those, because they're all surrogate sisters.
Right.
And, parents, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
My sisters, a lot of them. So anyway, but I did get my own room, and then I had a lot of the house to myself because it was a big house. So once they started clearing out, I was good to go.
Yeah, all right.
And I actually got, some quality time with my mother, and particularly like a little later, like a lot of trips because the rest were kind of gone.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a busy.
Yeah, so I guess,
busy,
thinking about
family.
that you would have an absolutely different experience as opposed to like whoever was 5th in line or it's just
and I've come to have a lot of love and compassion for those that were in the middle, particularly because being the youngest, there's certain things that go against you. There's also things that go for you, and then the older ones sort of having their place right away.
Right.
In the middle is kind of like you get, I can see how as an adult and knowing my siblings as adults now, like their sensations of being pushed out or feeling sort of stepped over or, because I mean, look, 1 of 13, you're all going to feel a little lost.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, it's nothing intentional. I'm sure that was from your parents or your family's part, but it's just like, wow, that's a lot of people to keep track of.
Totally. Yeah. I don't know how my mother did it, I just think simple things like, making lunches.
Yeah.
Never mind meals, which she did. And we had some help, but, it still is a lot of work. So there's a lot of laundry. No matter how much help you have.
Yes, it's laundry every day. Just, wow.
Yeah.
Just nonstop.
Yeah. And I'd go shopping with her and there'd be like, we'd have 3 carts. You know what I mean? Like the grocery store is just, it was a long trip.
Yes, that was a day, a day trip.
And tons of fun. I mean, we traveled a lot. We laughed a lot. We sang a lot. It was fun.
You guys like the fun traps.
We were. Actually, we were. We, ironically, you say that, but at my parents' 28th I think it was their 28th anniversary, wedding anniversary, we went to celebrate in New York City. And people thought that we were perhaps an orphanage because there were so many of us, and we're all about a year apart.
Oh my God.
So we seem like a clan, And then my father had a good voice, and we got up and sang along with some orchestra at the hotel, and we sang Edelweiss. So that became like a family tradition. So at weddings or
oh my God,
anywhere they'd have us.
That sounds like you had so much fun growing up.
Yeah.
So a musical family.
Yeah.
You guys were all good singers.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was sort of the lead, but yeah, I mean, we could all carry a tune, but we weren't like performing. We were just, but it was kind of on trappish.
Did anybody play any instruments?
No, not that I know. As I'm rumbling through 12 other people real fast. No, nobody played any instruments, but a lot of sports.
Okay, so it was more of a sports household.
Yes.
Did you play sports?
Yeah.
In high school?
I played basketball nearly my whole life. I started playing when I was maybe competitively like 8, 9,
Really?
and then I went all the way and played at the University of Maryland on scholarship.
Huh.
So I was a serious basketball player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Tried out for the Olympics and yeah.
Wow.
Tried out. Didn't make it.
Right.
But I tried
but
out.
still. I mean,
Yeah.
Just to have the chutzpah to do that.
Yeah.
To try out for the Olympics.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I played a shooting guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means
I shoot a lot. I shoot a lot. I score a lot, and sort of one of the ones that help bring the ball up the court when you're on offense. So you're up sort of towards the top.
Man.
Yeah.
So are you just a beast on the court?
Yes.
Do you play now? Often?
I do. My building in New York actually has a court inside.
Oh, that's
So I play. I don't play every day, but if I'm working out, I often go in there and even if it's 10 minutes or 45 minutes. But yeah, it's totally in my blood. It's just, and it's great. And actually, I just found out there's a league in LA that I might join because I live there a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just hooked up with some women who play in a league there. And I played over the years, but now it's just been a number of years since I played in leagues, and I'm so excited. The Olympics, this year inspired me so much.
Really?
And I was just like, I'm still playing very, very, athletic still, but yeah, I want to get back and do it more competitively again.
That's pretty great.
I'm excited.
That's exciting. So you're splitting your time between New York and LA?
Yep.
Basically when you're not here in Pittsburgh.
Yes, when I'm not here in Pittsburgh. So season 2 is going to wrap mid-October. I'll go out to LA then. Most of my management and everything, both for literary and talent, are there, and I'm also pitching and writing.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of work going on also as a writer.
Okay.
And so I go to LA, and then a little time in New York, but more so in LA when I'm not filming Outsiders.
Do you have a preference?
Right now, I'm liking LA.
Yeah.
I love that I get the edge of New York.
Mm-hmm. Because you seem like you're like that New York, that East Coast grit.
Yes, I am. I am. I have tons of energy, and it really works well in LA.
Okay.
Because you can get a lot done in LA, and even though it's sunshiny and it has the illusion of being super laid back, it's good to take New York energy into LA because you can really conquer the world.
Yeah, so you're going in, it's like, you guys got nothing on me.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
I mean, it's like, I don't know where Chandra Rhimes is originally from. I don't actually know her history. Maybe she's from Chicago. I don't know if I'm making that up.
Sure.
Well, anyway, but it's that sort of thing. Like, she's got such a work ethic. I have so much respect for her. And you can get a lot done with a strong work ethic. So I like to go back to New York frequently because it sort of just reinvigorates me, and I take that energy back, with me to LA.
That's a great plan. Like I like where your mind is on that.
Yeah.
It's like you go in, you charge up, and then you come back to LA and just kick ass.
Yeah, and actually because I know my personality, LA is actually kind of good for me.
Okay.
It's good. I love to be in nature. As I shared with you before, I do a lot of yoga, and it's a healthy environment, and all that really works for me. I like that way of living.
Okay.
But I also am a bit of a workaholic. So
okay. So all right, so for those of you who do not know, Tina is here in Pittsburgh filming Outsiders. I keep doing that. Yeah. Not to be confused with Pony Boy and Soda Pop. But it's a totally different world. And before, I had not watched any of it. Like, I tried to watch the first episode, when it aired.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this with all, this.
Intense.
Everybody's so dirty. And it's it's not even the intensity. It's just you got to kind of get into that.
It's a grit.
That quote unquote hillbilly aspect of it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, after I met you, I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and watch this. And my husband and I binged it
Oh,
last
you
week.
did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And,
good.
and,
Good.
and we're both just like, and we're in it. Like, it was, I forget, maybe after that second episode. And it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, you don't show up until like seventh
Yes.
episode. But
Yeah.
you play Shern.
Yes.
Who, spoilers, kind of loses her son
Yes.
to Big Foster's stupidity, basically.
Yes. Well put. That's exactly how Shern would say it.
And so
stupid fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a total transformation for you. I mean, just like had I not looked up and known who I was looking for, I would have still been like, I don't know, I haven't seen Tina yet. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
So
thank you.
Great transformation.
Thank
you.
So
what? Hopefully. And I'm assuming that she's going to get a little more meatier. Her role is things are going to get a little more intense.
Yeah.
But I really like what you bring to the role of Shern. And so where do you go? Like, how do you get set?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I got the audition last year, they had sent along a Dorothea Lange photograph. It's those black and white photographs that are very famous, particularly of coal miners and their families.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a particularly famous one of a woman holding a child, and you can just see the abject poverty and the worn quality and the harshness of life on her face. And that was sort of the model for this character. So even though I didn't grow up like that, I do understand and did understand that, we all know loss, right? And that's where I entered, is like, hello, I'm here, and my son has just, been taken from me. So, I think it's a couple things. It's tapping in first internally to the universal, feeling of loss. I've lost people that I loved and love dearly, and so I know what that feels like. On the other hand, I think that, voice, physicality. I come from the actor studio world of method, and so the external stuff is very important for me, as much as the internal. But I think she's got a pair of boots that just sort of work. I put those boots on, and it is different. My body's different. I work with animal a lot, so I chose an animal, and I think Shern is very much, as most of the mountain, as most of my clan is, they're of the earth, and so there's something very animalistic.
Right.
So there's no graces in terms of proper this or that or please and thank yous. There's not much language. That I worked with that a lot because I don't read or write. I mean, Shern doesn't read or write.
Right.
So that becomes something. So everything became much more visceral. So I think just in a sensorial way, I worked with a lot of those kinds of things, animal and physicality and how would I move. And of course, the accent is Appalachian. So that's how they say it, Appalachian. Although Appalachia is also said, but people who live there. And I had done a movie with Teresa Russell in West Virginia. So even though this is Kentucky, we shoot Pittsburgh for Kentucky.
Okay. I wasn't sure exactly where it was supposed to be.
Kentucky, yeah. The world was similar to this other character. Not the character was different, but the world in terms of coal mining, and we are sort of set in these mountains, and the town below is basically people who are working for coal companies.
Right.
So that world I knew, but in the mountain, I guess the short answer is it kind of started with animal.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
because to kind of like you were saying, everyone's of the earth in that clan. And what is the greeting? Or not greeting?
Gedya.
Yes, Gedya.
Gedya means hell yes.
Okay.
It means hell yes. So when we say Gedya, and there's often a cheer with it, it's actually like hell.
Yeah, it's more of a kind of like a warrior cry.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did you work with a dialect coach?
I did not, because I kind of knew as I said, I'd done someone from West Virginia, although this is Kentucky. It's pretty similar. I did not work with a dialect coach. I sort of just brought and worked on it myself and listened and learned, and I'm pretty good with accents.
Okay.
So
that was my next question. You just enjoy accents anyway?
I love accents. I've done a number of Southern, although this is very specific. I wouldn't call this Southern, but I've done Texas, and I can do a number of European accents and things. So yeah, I like it. I have a good ear, and so I think that's the thing. It's like I just have to get the right person or the right,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, and then that's how I generally find it. It's
Okay.
it's it's something very specific that I like to find.
And you've already kind of, just in the couple episodes you've been, it seems like you've got quite the fan base following already. I've been
Yeah,
tooling around on social medias, and there's like, Shern shrines.
I
basically,
know. I know. It's
popping
funny
up.
because the truth is my character is very much, supporting.
Mhm.
I think I'm an integral part of the family, but obviously I'm not one of the leads on the show. But I think there's a few things. I think Shern has a real, like, there's no veil over
Mhm.
her. And I think it's an interesting time. I mean, first of all, there's for the fans, a sort of level of probably sympathy and empathy for someone who has, they meet and is like in the midst of this horrific tragedy.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, losing a child, there may be nothing worse
Right.
as a human being. So there's that. But then also, Shern is kind of a badass too, where she
Mhm.
doesn't put up with any of Big Foster's shit.
Yeah.
So I think also the audience is sort of rooting for, a female who doesn't
Yes.
back down,
Yes.
particularly in this very male-dominated show.
Right. Yeah, because we've very much established who our villain is.
Yes.
And so, and there's
Yes.
also like the moment when your character is introduced, and you say that she basically enters in that state of grief or whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's this glimpse, there's this thing that you do with your face. You have this expression on your face when you're asking where Tice is.
Tice, yeah.
And it's just, hey, where's my boy? Like
Yeah.
and there's you can, in that split second, basically, you have conveyed in your facial expressions like that this is what your history is with your son. Like this is your boy, you love him to death, like you can't wait to see him, like, oh, tell me all your tales, darling, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, and then you find out, and that's, so you did a great job in just kind of giving us the backstory between you and your son.
Oh,
and
thank
just
you.
facial expressions.
Thank you. Thank you. That's lovely to hear because, there's not a lot of screen time
Right.
to do that. And I'm glad, yeah, of course, you had that first moment where you do meet me or Shern before that happens. So that,
Right.
yeah, that's great to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. How did you get into acting?
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know at all I wanted to be an actor. I had
Mhm.
no idea. As I said, I was, totally into sports,
Mhm.
and that was my life. Into my 20s, I realized after I didn't make the Olympic team and I was playing for one of the best college teams in the country and not playing a lot,
Mhm.
that basketball was not going to be in my future. Like, as women at that point,
Right.
what were you going to do? There was a pro league, but it wasn't as established as what we have now.
Right.
Anyway, I decided to get an MBA, and I loved fashion, and so that seemed like a natural thing that I wanted to do, and I wanted to go to New York and get in the fashion world. That
Mhm.
got clear to me
Okay.
in grad school. So that's what I did, and I went and became essentially an executive. I ran fashion designers companies.
Really?
Yeah, out of grad school, and did that for about 7 years. And I didn't take my first acting class until I was 30.
Really?
Yeah, and fortunately, I had a very, very good acting teacher, and still do. Susan Batson. She's Oprah's coach,
Okay.
and Nicole Kidman, and
Yeah, I've heard the
Chris
name.
Rock, and a million people, and a million great actors, I should say. So yeah, I didn't have a clue. I wasn't in the school plays. I wasn't from
Huh.
particularly creative um, kind of family in the
Mhm.
sense of nobody else was in the arts.
Mhm.
But I had a little epiphany. I took a little time off after I decided, kind of almost 30, that I had a lot of stuff, but I wasn't that happy. I just, it looked good on the outside, but on the inside, I was frankly a bit of a mess.
Oh.
And I think things, that, my a life sort of not kind of dealing with many things piled up. And I think that happens to a lot of people sort of in their late 20s. I
Mhm.
think it's a very sensitive, important transition. And so anyway, a lot hit me, and I literally walked away from that career. I just, like, literally one day pushed my chair back, much like that chair,
Mhm.
backed up and said, I'm going home.
That
And
is
I
brave.
walked away. Yeah. I had a mortgage in the city, and I had a lot of stuff, but I was just like, I don't know. I knew I was young enough and maybe crazy enough, but either way, my family sure thought I was like, you walked away. What? And I took about a year, and I thought I was going to start my own business, and I pursued some stuff, but somewhere in there, I had a day in Soho, and something like sort of hit me like a lightning bolt, and I gave myself permission to say, if I could do anything, like if you could do anything, like slate is clear, there's no limitations, and there's no fear. What would you do? Like you could be anything, and actor came, and I don't even really know how. I mean, yeah, it's exciting and all that, but I knew there was a little more to it.
Right.
There was another reason. So I, found a friend of mine was studying with Susan Batson, and I literally like showed up at her door, and she let me in and said, "You can study. Yeah, you can study with me." And yeah, the rest was kind of history. I mean, hard work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to learn how to act. There was that little thing. I thought, you just show up and you'll work hard and you'll work, and it's like, wow, this business isn't. It isn't for the faint of heart.
I would imagine not. Just from I mean, that's a lot. Not only are you perfecting your craft and trying to transform yourself into different people every time it's a new job, but there's also you have to deal with whatever industry standards or whatever at that moment.
Totally.
Like whatever they're craving at that point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there were, my own insecurities, it was like, frankly, there was, times I'm like, maybe I should get a boob job and have, bigger breasts, and, let me, I should highlight my hair. And actually it's not so much because, I mean, industry standards, it's actually more practical, but I have a white streak.
Oh, really?
That I was born with. It's my birthmark in the front of my hair, sort of like that idea.
Like the X-Men character?
Yeah. Like when I was a kid, if you think of like someone who I'm thinking like Gloria Steinem had that, remember?
Okay. Yes.
Like where it was highlighted.
Yeah.
So that's how I looked, but I was like 8 and 10. You know what I mean? So people are always like, your mom lets you dye your hair, and it's like, that's natural. So that actually I did cover, but that was a little more practical because you want to work, and that's a very specific look. So I did cover that. That's that. But in terms of like, the pressure of who do they want me to be something, or I'm not sexy enough, or I'm not this enough, or I'm not, I'm too strong, or they don't know what to do with me. I got that a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they don't know what to do with me, and that might have been, I don't put that all on them. I think we do have to find out who we are, too.
True.
And then people sort of know what to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also kind of find that as a compliment, that they don't know. You don't actually fit into a mold that they have already, which, okay. Like, sure, it may not get you the job, and it's not paying you, but it's kind of like, all right, that kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of what your character is and what your personality, what you're putting out there to the world is.
Exactly. Like right now I feel really blessed because I have played enough characters now, and I do feel that people see that I can transform. What that allows is like right now I love being on Outsiders, but I would love to be on, recurring on House of Cards or Homeland and play that sort of, buttoned up, more corporate, or lawyer, or FBI agent
somewhere.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is my secret goal, is to play one of the Chandra women.
Yes.
So Chandra, if you're listening,
yes.
So I like that the ability to disappear. Like you said, you might not have recognized me, and I feel that I like that because I would like to then go do something else I can and be doing. I like to do a lot of things.
Speaking of, I know you're currently writing a book.
Yes.
And do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like,
yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I did a solo show called Secrets of a Holy Father, which is about my father, who had a lot of secrets and shared them with me at a young age, where he didn't share with the rest of my siblings. I won't give too much away because I don't want to spoil it. HarperCollins Day Street imprint is publishing in 2017, so that's very exciting, and so I don't want to give too much away.
No, you gotta read it.
Yeah, gotta read it. But but anyway, I did a solo show, and I had taken it out to LA, and I basically played my dad.
Huh.
That was the show.
Okay.
So I explored him, and actually I didn't play myself even in the show at all. But I was in it as a character because he was talking to me a lot.
Gotcha.
So in a way I was in it. But anyway, I just wanted to understand him, I think, in an even more profound way than I did, and understand this need that he had, living at the time he did, being who he was, his deep involvement with the Catholic Church and the Vatican. That's a little teaser and true. That these secrets that he had, and personal secrets too, that he shared with me, like why and what that must have been like. Because I feel like as a daughter, we see our parents, or a son, we see our parents as parents. And there does come a time where I think it's really important as an adult that you have to let go of that and see them as adults, as
Right.
human beings,
Right.
and that happens because you get to be an age they were, that you remember them at, and you go, oh my God, they felt like this then?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big wake-up call.
Yeah. I
Like-
totally had that like a few years ago. It's like,
Yeah,
It's like it's not just mom. She's a woman. She's a human.
Yeah, and if they felt like I feel now, oh my God, no, they did pretty well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you start to have that perspective. And I feel that his story, was so fascinating, so interesting, and could help people perhaps in seeing all of this. That was one of the reasons, but also for me personally to kind of take his journey and go, what would have that been like? Like, how did he do all that? How did he manage and compartmentalize all these lives? Part of it was, sexually, his lifestyle, his secret Vatican life, his all this stuff, and supporting very well 13 kids, and providing for us. So it was complicated. It is complicated. And anyway, so I did the show, and a literary agent in LA saw it, and he is my agent now, my manager, I should say, and he said, write a book. And I had always seen it as a TV show, which I still do, but the material is very dense and exciting. And then he said, write the book first, so you have the intellectual property, and then we can sort of go from there.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to write a book about my life. And so this story basically focuses on me at 18 into my early 20s, when I was acting out all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no holds barred. And then my father's secret life, and sort of the secrets we kept together.
And the name of the book again?
Well, the working title is Secrets of a Holy Father,
Okay.
but I have a feeling that between HarperCollins and myself, we'll probably come up with a new title, maybe a little less on the nose. But
So we should be looking for that in 2017.
2017, yeah. I think it'll be probably early fall 2017.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read that.
Yes.
Is this the first book that you?
It's the first book I've ever written.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Childhood memoir.
Well,
I know.
dude, like congratulations on even doing it.
Yes, thank you.
Getting so far. Like,
Thank you.
You're just months away now.
Yeah,
It's
I
almost
know.
there.
I know. It's exciting, and it's been, a few bumps, but overall really amazing. I
Yeah.
feel blessed every day. Yeah.
You also work with Gina Raffaella
Yes.
Story,
Yes.
and that's another like really cool story.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
yes, you
Wearing
got this
one today.
awesome looking necklace here.
Yes.
And let's talk about like the background on that.
Yeah.
For
Well,
those of you can't see, it's just an amazing like bullet casing.
yes. Yeah. So the idea was, obviously, Gina is an artist and designer, and we wanted to start, a company where we would give back. We were both inspired tremendously by Tom's, which does this. He does shoes, and Tom's created this company where he for every pair of shoes that is sold, he gives a pair away to children in South America,
Okay.
because he had taken a trip there and seen, just countries filled with kids running around literally with no shoes.
Wow.
Amongst other things, but he got inspired. So anyway, we thought, what can we do? How can we make a difference? How can we use Gina's art and her artistic ability and my business sense to, create a mission-based company Gina had worked with bullets in some of her artwork, and one day we were talking, and she had made this ring, and it was really, frankly, a badass looking ring. That said, with all the violence that we are experiencing, particularly in the last few years in our country, I had said, to her very specifically, like, I get this as a concept, but we have to make sure that, we present it and so that no one's misunderstanding
Right.
what we're doing.
Exactly.
We're not just wanting to put bullets in the world. We're trying to make a very bold statement about the need for peace.
Mm-hmm.
So we found our way, and now what we do is we use bullets. They're all refurbished, and we basically create them into pieces of art, and then we give partial proceeds to different organizations, nonprofits like Moms Demand Action, which is about gun sense, not no guns, but gun sense.
Mm-hmm.
And with Stop Violence Against Women, which is a global initiative that helps, obviously, various women throughout the world in terms of domestic violence and, just the horrors that are also happening in Africa and different places towards women, the violence towards women. And so anyway, that's what we do. We got into Barney's, so we had some initial success. They brought us in, and we've only been around a little more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, finding our way. We're on, we have our own site on Square Market, so you can visit Gina Raffaella Design on Square Market if you're interested. And that's what we're about, just a message of peace in this too violent world that we're living in.
I love it. Like, it's like really awesome, just kick-ass jewelry with a message and a purpose and a statement. Like, yes, how can it get any better than that?
And we thought, we can find a way to do fashion and mission, and that was what we were looking for, like, because we both have a great passion for fashion and how do we do that? And then, and also when we do use a full casing, which obviously are the most badass. There's some that are delicate with diamonds and soft and smaller pieces and transform. So it's not all like heavy duty casing. But when we do, we committed to putting the words "no more" inscribed on it, so that there was no mixed message that anyone would get. Like, oh, you're wearing a bullet on your neck.
Yeah.
No, it's very clear what we're saying.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for Tina's music block. If you are listening on WMCK.FM, then you'll get to hear the actual songs. We'll play the songs for you, and you can rock out as though Tina's right next to you, rocking out with you. But if not, you're just gonna have to take it for what it is, face value, and then go look it up on yourself on Spotify.
They're not. They're actually were pretty easy to come up with, because I just thought to myself, what would be like the songs that I don't get sick of?
Okay.
Like I could listen to it like a million times.
Mm-hmm.
So an oldie is Lady Marmalade.
Nice.
Yeah. And Nona Hendrix is a good friend. So she's part of LaBelle.
Yeah.
And Nona's a really amazing woman. And I loved that song long before I ever knew Nona.
Yeah.
But now that I know it, and every time I hear it, I'm like, I hear her. And I'm just like, damn, she's my friend.
That's great.
She's great. She's an amazing human being. I love Alicia Keys' Superwoman.
Oh, yeah.
I like Christina Aguilera.
Mm-hmm.
I think she got an amazing voice. And I happen to just love that song, Ain't No Man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a real good one, too.
It's a great, I like dance songs. And I think Shaka Khan is another oldie but goodie.
Yes.
I'm Every Woman, and then Whitney covered it, which was pretty good too.
Yeah, that's really
but
cool.
You kind of can't go wrong with Shaka Khan. And then maybe like Crazy. These aren't current at all, but maybe like even though she did sing it with Ike, like Tina Turner's "Proud Mary."
Oh yes,
is one of the greatest songs ever.
It is actually.
Ever.
I was just like listening to it the other night, dancing around the living room.
It's just, it's like that is just like the greatest song ever. So I realized, after I wrote this list, I was like, okay, there's like barely a white woman on there. Then there's barely like anything sort of but dance.
Right.
And then I was like, that really says who I am, isn't it?
Great. Like,
I love it, but it's just like I kind of learned by you asking me to think about like 5 cool songs.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Helping you out. All right, so now let's enter a little bit of questionable conversation.
Okay.
Just a bunch of rando questions.
Okay, good.
First of all, what is your self-care routine regimen?
Wow. I do yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I drink a lot of green juice. I try to drink it every day, although I do better when I'm in LA. So it'd be easier to grab when I have a car. But I do make them. I try to meditate most days. I'm not always successful at it, but at least I've been trying to get better at that. I definitely work out at the gym. I'd say, 4 or 5 times a week. I do something.
You're doing better than me.
I hike almost every day when I'm in LA.
Really?
Yeah, I love hiking.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not hiking like where I need a rope.
Right. This is some meditation time kind of exercise.
Yeah. I love nature, so anytime I can get out there, I feel like I'm in self-care. I journal in the mornings every day. It's a kind of I forgot her name, but the Artist's Way.
Okay.
Since I read that a gazillion years ago, it's like it's in me now, and I write a few pages and I rip it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I write a few pages every morning, just like get out whatever needs to get out, and then it's like it's gone. It's just like I don't journal to like keep, and then it's like I know how I feel.
Yeah.
But it's just about getting it out. So that's kind of a interesting self-care thing, and I don't know. Every time I act, I feel like I'm in self-care because I get to express myself.
Right.
So that just feels like joy.
All right. What album can you listen to from beginning to end?
Oh, Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's very good. Are you usually late, early, or right on time?
These days, right on time.
Or
Used to be late, but now I'm on time.
favorite word?
Oh, God. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
What was your first job?
Thinking. Well, other than babysitting, like probably a camp counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, basketball camp. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Favorite song to sing?
Oh gosh, that's so many. The Impossible Dream.
Wow. Would you survive living on the hilltop as Shern and as a feral?
Hell no. It's not get you. It's hell no.
Whatever the terminology is for hell no.
I don't even like camping. So when you said I transform, believe me.
It's like you've got no idea.
Yes. Yeah.
What is your favorite flavor of milkshake?
Chocolate. Yeah.
What is your favorite part of the human face and why?
Oh, the eyes, I mean, the cliche, they're the soul, but I think it is how we connect with each other most deeply.
Do you talk to yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have any posters on your wall as a teenager?
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Of course. It's so quirky, isn't it? It's so quirky. Yeah, doing a sky hook and then as I got old, but that was when I was a little kid. That was like my first poster. Yeah, I know. Well, at least he's smart.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a gentle giant.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
And we've already established that you can do accents. Do you remember your dreams?
Yeah, I actually work with my dreams. I intentionally work. In fact, I did one last night. I worked with an amazing acting teacher named Sandra Seacat, who works with actors on dreams. Jessica Lange is a big, actress who's done all that work. But yeah, I use dreams to fuel the creative work that I do.
Really?
Yeah. So I ask before I go to sleep. You ask what you need to know, and then you can work with that dream. It's quite Jungian, but it's really profound.
Huh. Outside of your family, who is your oldest friend?
Outside of my family, my oldest friend. Oh, my friend Trish. Yeah, we went to high school together.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the last movie you saw?
I think it's called was it I want to say it's married. What was it? Moms. It's
Bad Moms.
No. I couldn't see that. The one with Jennifer Aniston, where she's this like stepmom. It was it was
like a recent comedy.
Yeah,
Timothy Oliphant, I think, is in it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't
Mother's
either.
Day?
Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yes, very silly. It was like I'd been working on my book, and it was. I do that. It's like because it's a bit heavy,
right?
And I'm in a zone of it's too deep. It's like working on Shern, and I have to, and I just
lighten the load.
Yeah, Netflix is like, give me the most,
funny, crazy,
vanilla, silly. I won't think about anything heavy.
Right, something I don't have to think about.
And that's self-care, by the way.
Yeah,
that's big self-care.
Are you a good cook?
I'm an okay cook.
Okay. You haven't killed anyone, basically.
No. I mean, I used to be a better cook because I had more time to do it.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I have recollections of being a pretty good cook. I just don't do it anymore.
Gotcha.
Too busy. Yeah.
You never get tired of blank.
Acting.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Describe yourself in one word.
Determined.
That, my dear, is our show.
That's so fun.
I had a great time talking to you.
You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Just try to, just chatting it up.
Yeah.
Chopping it up, as the kids say.
Yes.
Where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Yes. At Tina Alexis Allen, and it's ALEXISALLEN. Tina Alexis Allen. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
All right, out there, I see you connecting with your fans and whatnot.
Yes.
And once again, thank you, and much success on everything. I look forward to your book. I look forward to season 2 of Outsiders and see where Shern is going. And so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.